Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our Global TV Deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Corruption is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in the state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent, it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives. Wealth is grabbed into the greedy, grubby hands of those who get fat on the toil and labor of good people. Corruption benefits only temporarily those who participate in it. Everyone else is a victim of the theft, the deceit, the dishonesty, and the lies that corruption feeds on. You need to know that a corrupt person is stealing from you. Corruption is filthy work and despicable acts of treachery done under the table and behind closed doors. Corruption is a disgusting shame. Corruption keeps a nation back from true development and from progress. Wise investors steer clear of a corrupt environment. They would rather put their resources into a place where the playing field of opportunity is equal for all and not bent towards feeding the financial lust of corrupt, lying, cheating, thieving politicians and government officials. How many wonderful development projects have been lost because the investors didn't want to do business in a swamp of evil? When those great projects go to another nation or to some other place, we all lose. Believe me when I tell you that corruption steals from you, it steals from all of us. Corruption plunders the nation's wealth. Corrupt people compromise on truth, equity, and fairness, choosing instead to feed off the short-term benefits of crookedness, exploitation, and financial perversion. Corruption is not just a personal matter, it's a culture. It's a way of life, not just for individual people, but for companies, communities, governments, and nations. Corrupt nations, hiding behind large companies, will seek to invest in other weak nations in order to take over the assets of the nation that they've invested into. They will provide financial loans to a nation for the much-needed infrastructure, and they will do it with assets that they provide. They will sign contracts by lining the pockets of rotten government officials who participate in this kind of corruption and are then held hostage by their own deceit and greed. Corruption is nothing less than a form of theft and national robbery. A corrupt person steals from everyone in society.
Run, keep going on, less process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So just I and I as a watchman around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Hey, oh, we gotta bust down Babylon walls. Prepare the way. Prepare the way for your people. Let's go. Fight down, war and cry. Fight down. Me say Rastafari. War and cry. up righteousness. Hey, we love Jah, and we love Jah, Jah, and we love Jah, Jah, Rastafari, save all people. Hey, we love Jah, we love Jah, Jah, Rastafari, we love Jah, Jah, Rastafari, save all people. Put time away again. Listen, yeah. Just as I and I as a watchman around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I and I should never hold thy peace, while we penalize day or night. We gonna bust down Babylon gates. Prepare the way, prepare the way for Jah Rastafari. Fight down war and fight, fight down war and fight, Rastafari, war and fight, and build up righteousness. And we love Jah, and we love Jah, and we love Jah, Rastafari, we love all, and we love Jah, Jah, me love Jah, Jah, Rastafari, me love Jah, Jah, Rastafari, preserve all, me love Jah, Jah, Rastafari, Jah, Rastafari. Yeah, the next song is going to be the last song for tonight, and then DJ Twink.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. Let me check something in the back here, please. Good evening, and welcome. Bear with me. I need to do some little checks in the back here. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're back here this evening with Marco Rubio, Two Puppets. We are here again with Marco Rubio, Two Puppets. I hope you can hear me. Can someone type in the chat and let me know they can hear my audio, please? If you don't want to say anything, just type a 1 in the chat. Bear with me, bear with. I'm having some issues in the back. Bear with me, please. Hold on, bear with me. Bear with me. I'm having a bit of malfunction. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. I hope you can hear me. I am having some malfunction. Yes, Gloria Taylor can hear me. All right, once you can hear me, I think I can work with this. Good evening and welcome, everybody. We are back at the Caricom debacle again, and this time is Andrew Holness and Kamla. The two puppets of, but I'm not call the labor right them for me, because there's quite some questions I want to ask them tonight as to how them really silent in our country, because given how good our country are run, we would like to hear more from them. In particular, one of the questions I want to ask them tonight, the Prime Minister asks us in the diaspora to come back home, come help the birth rate, the economy, and all sort. For those of you supporters of the government who are always telling us that Jamaica has never been in a better position than it is, that the country is being run good, that the country is moving in the right direction. The country run good, the country move in the right direction. Would you take up the Prime Minister offer to one, go back home to help build Jamaica, and two, to go back home and to help increase the population and the birth rate? Would you take up that offer from this Prime Minister? When you look at the public sector salary, high end as opposed to low end, high end, you're going to look at those in Parliament who gave themselves up to 300% pay rise. And those at the bottom of the public service ladder that really allows the public service to work. The nurses, the doctors, the teachers, the firemen, the social work, all of those people at the bottom of public service that allows public service to work. These people were only given a 20%. 20%. And your Holness chick a lot of Jamaicans that I am not going to take it. And that signal to us that, not to us, to those who believe him, that he cares. He's one of us. He's thinking of the people. He cannot, at this point, take such a bloated salary rise when the public sector is struggling to make ends meet. Would you take up the Prime Minister offer, Lynette Jenkins? How you do? Would you take up the Prime Minister offer to return home to help build Jamaica? Because the way on a silence, it is worrying, because you're all over the place during the election campaign, salimonning over this government, saluting this government. Where are you now to bolster the government performance or to ring home the government message? Because it's not just about the political campaign of making the noise and get them into power. What about hold them to account when they get into power, or continue to advise them after you give them power? But everybody is silent. Now, on the matter of health, I want to go to Dr. Dawes. We're going to leave the two poodle for a little later on. But Andrew Holness gets slapped in the face at Caricom. Miss Scratches never play with Andrew Holness at all. Miss Scratches really put him in a place. But we will get round to the two poodle at the moment, because the two will fight the America war in the region. Those are the very two at each other throat a try to yam off each other head. But we're going to sit down a side ring and watch what go on between the all of them. Let's listen to Dr. Dawes on the health issue versus tax. Taxing health or educating health?
Over the last 3 months, I've lost about 25 pounds because I wanted a different look. I did not do it by cutting out sugary drinks. As a matter of fact, the majority of my patients who come to me for weight loss, they had already cut out sugary drinks years ago, and they were still struggling, which is why they would have sought my services as a last resort in many instances. So how do we do it? Simple. We combat insulin resistance. If you want to tackle diabetes, if you want to tackle obesity, you have to look at the main driver, which is insulin resistance. Insulin is a messenger in the body that tells your blood glucose to go into the muscles and into the fat cells. So the more sugar you have in the blood, the more insulin you need, and you're putting strain on the pancreas that produces the insulin to produce higher and higher levels. And after a while, your body gets resistant to that messenger. And that's when your sugar levels start to go out of control and you end up with diabetes. Now, of course, because you have high levels of sugar, if you don't have muscles building and working out, it's going to go naturally into the fat cells. And that is why you end up with weight gain, which in turn leads to insulin resistance. And it's a cycle. Many females see that with PCOS. And until you break that cycle, to decrease the amount of fat, decrease the sugar, and as a result of that, decrease the insulin, you won't have sustainable weight loss. The problem is that insulin continues to grab all of the calories that you have and store them in the fat cells. So really and truly, it's not just about sugary drinks. It's about any source of sugar that gets into your bloodstream. And what is it that usually gets do Jamaicans get their sugar from? It's not just their sugar drinks. It's the rice, the flour. We eat a lot of bread. We eat a lot of snacks. All of those biscuits that we keep importing from Trinidad and those other places. The cereal, the processed foods from North America. As a matter of fact, the North American processed foods that we get, they are different from the processed foods in the UK and in Europe, because their laws restrict the amount of sugars in not just drinks, but foods as well. So
I'm glad Dr. Dawes said that, because what is known of the American is the lacking of standards in their food and poultry preparation. There's a lot of things Europe wouldn't take from America, such as their meat and all that, something there, where America washing up bleach and whatever America want to do to them. This, what the government come with at a time like now, the timing is just not right. That is one of my biggest problems with the government new tax. It is not so much of the tax, because as long as we live in them, I go tax we. I know the tax is my bigger part of the problem. It's the timing and the lie behind the timing, where this government, for the last how much years, they've been ramming the message home. We are the government that has run 2 administrations and haven't imposed any new tax on you. How terrible, though, that in a time when people economy is being devastated, people personal and social lives is being devastated, and the very nitpickings that they can afford on the bottom of the economic scale, those are the area that the government is targeting to tax. While the same government who ought to be doing this health crisis where the government attacks, the government would, in my view, have a better drive and a better benefit and response by doing it through education. By doing it through education. Because taxing those, as we call them, sin tax, doesn't mean people are not going to use or access those things anymore. As long as they can afford them, they will still buy them. They're not being educated enough about the dangers or about the cycles of the danger of such health practices. If these people were thinking of us at this moment, the government should be in parliament amending them pay scale, bringing legislation or regulation to amend them pay scale or to adjust this pay scale so you can have a more even note between across the public sector. Why not go 50-50 with everybody? 50% rise up the top, 50% rise up the bottom. Uno still go get more. Uno still stand to gain a lot more. If uno get a 50% rise, pan what uno get. And to Holness, if he did take a 50%, he would end up with about 14 million something or so, or maybe about 15 million. But he take a 214% pay rise, which bloat in yearly salary by 19.5 million. 19.5 million. One bloat of the Prime Minister's salary. Take it from 9.5 million a year to $28.5 million per year. This is the same government that told us, I'm not taking my razor pay. I'm better than the opposition who took his razor pay. I'm the government who have not taxed you for 10 years. But this is the same government that took his salary at your worst point retroactively. And this is the same government that imposed tax on you at your worst time when you don't even see where the next penny come from.
Cereals have less sugar, have less carbs, the bread and so on. So if you really want to have a public health tax, you have to look at the overall picture. But we're not doing that. This tax is just simply a tax on sugary drinks. It is a tax on people who can't afford to buy freshly squeezed orange juice, so they buy orange drink. People who don't know what grape juice tastes like, so they buy grape drink. The poorest of the poor in our society. It's an illusion, it's a farce. It's because of special interest groups that are pushing sugar taxes why we end up in this situation. Our approach here is that we go for a high protein diet that decreases the level of insulin you have to work out. And of course, we have some like aids, which I use to turn. Truly, don't buy the illusion out there that this is a health tax. It is not. It's not going to change behavior. It has not resulted in obesity rates declining in any country that they have imposed a sugary drinks tax on. Take a look at Mexico, the consumption of sugary drinks. Mexico's obesity rates continue to go up and up. over the years. And as a matter of fact, in the OECD countries, Organization for Economic Development and Cooperation, Mexico ranks as the second fattest country, even with a sugar tax now over 10 years old. So it doesn't change the rate of obesity. We have to look as a country where the calories are coming from and how we can fix it. You know, what has increased in Jamaica? Amount of junk food, fast food franchises, the amount of available burgers, fries, fried chicken, and pizza that has been available. Obesity in Jamaica.
These are the things that the government must address. The same government we're going around claims that them putting tax on sin. It's the same government going around opening the sin agents in our country. It's the same government is flooding with country with junk food. It's the same government who destroy with agriculture and a feed with pan US GM food. So it's just about tax revenue for in business community or in friend them who want to squeeze you, the poor people, us, the poor people, are in after a tax way to collect dividends for the IMF and the World Bank. But to you, the people, what is your responsibility? What is your responsibility? How are you going to fight against this tax? Are you going to pay it willy-nilly and continue with this spiral of health challenges? Or you are going to say, it's not necessary, water is enough? Or me will look fruits and make my own drinks? When are we going to become responsible enough so these people who don't have our interests at heart don't have to sit down and pretend say them a babysit and police with health, knowing say nothing no go so? Whatever them a do still becomes a benefit to their pocket. We the people, you know, we can't continue to blame government when we have the opportunity to make better choices. Especially in modern day, when we see we don't have this required services around us. Our health care is in shambles, both per se, the primary care, secondary care, they're all in shambles. Healthcare is out of cost in Jamaica. A very few people can afford healthcare in Jamaica. What are we going to do as a people to minimize the health effect from the bad food that our government pushes onto us? How much of us are going to turn to farming to buttress these high prices? How much of you are going to make your own natural drink that will supply you the natural sugar your body requires rather than the continued processed sugar, which is becoming dangerous to health? When we are going to substitute, when we are going to plant our own food and substitute some of the rice and flour for grown provisions, for hard food and vegetables, we cannot continue like this. We cannot continue want to be babysit Jamaica. The world is waking up and looking at themselves. We have to join that choir. We can have the beauty of knowledge in the palm of our hand and use we phone for only mix up and passa. We've got to start living healthier. Otherwise, we're going to die faster. Gloria Morris, how you do? We're going to have to start living healthier or we will die faster.
Is increasing at about 1% per year. Sugary drink intake has not been increasing at 1% per year, but you see what buildings are going up and you know what you are eating. So let's call a spade a spade. This is a tax on the poor.
Shana, the easy jerk,
go on. More educational videos.
So we have to take our health into our own hand. The government don't care. I think we've had enough proof that government don't care. Government will never care. I honestly don't understand what more we want to see from the people we elect to know that it's about them, pocket and power.
Jamaicans in and out of Jamaica are very...
It's all about power and money. They're not in it to give us the service that they promised us during their campaign. It's really not like that. When it comes to delivery, they are brilliant at promises, very brilliant. But when it comes to delivery, they've all failed miserably. Administration after administration, party after party, they've all failed miserably when it comes to delivery. But when it comes to promises, nobody mouth no sweet like a for them. Like literally, they can promise you a pie in the sky and you would believe it. But look at the service in the aftermath of Melissa. Look at the service the people got from a Jamaica that we were told is a superpower. The Caribbean outstanding. Not even coordination. We can't say up until today and see the government thing to say. Creating a Ministry of Defense to do what I don't know will solve the problem of Melissa. We never learned anything from Beryl. We never learned anything from Beryl that we could have improved on our coordination during Melissa. Nothing. And I can guarantee you, we've learned nothing from Melissa. We've learned nothing from Melissa because the government is still all over the place, bipsing and babsing. This was the government where a change and chop and change right in the middle of the disaster. This is the government where all know show the whole Melissa debacle, not show we no clear structure. And this government I call foreign people in the diaspora to come home. We were that foreign so long and used to structure and used to service. Like seriously, idiot? We if you come home and can start all over from the bottom again. You know how important customer service is to win a foreign? Do you understand how important just customer service alone is to us in foreign? Something which is alien to Jamaica. Do you understand how important customer service is to it? All when we're wrong. Them something that exists at Jamaica. So calling Jamaicans to come home, the question is to come do what? You think we're idiots? If we did see If we did see a reason for come home, or if we did see better for come home for, you wouldn't have to call we. We ended a long time.
Jamaicans in and out of Jamaica are very furious at the moment because our Prime Minister have decided that he was going to piss most of us off. I have no idea why he decided to make this decision, but the decision wasn't a good decision. Well, according to our Prime Minister, the population is going down and it needs to be increased. And so he's calling on us women living overseas to come back to Jamaica and start multiply to solve the problem. It is not our problem to solve. So many Jamaicans are furious online and they're letting him know that they don't have time for his ridiculous behavior. I am not here to go back and forth about what he said. I am here to give facts. Now, meanwhile, the Jamaican government, the Prime Minister is asking us to return and have children to increase the population. Within the last 10 years, more than 14,000 people were killed on the island within the last 10 years. A part of that time, he was in power running. 6,600 women were brutally raped. That has been reported. 1.73 billion Jamaican dollar was stolen from the bank from people that are working in the bank or fraudulent checks, among other things. The minimum wage in Jamaica is 16,000 Jamaican dollar per week, 40-hour week. Jamaica GDP in 2025 was 21 billion US. Stick a pin right there because here we have a problem. A certain percentage of our foreigners are coming from the United States of these and those Americas. And we have regular issue with some of the Black Americans who keep coming on our island and calling us motherfuckers as soon as something don't go the way they want it to go. Now look at the word motherfucker and where it derives from. It's when the slave, the white slave owners used to put the men, the sons of women, to have sex with them. And that's where motherfucker derived from in the 19th century. And that type of derogatory languages they're using as soon as they think things don't go the way that it should go. So we have a lot of problem to fix. And now we are dealing with this type of ridiculous behavior. Our GDP is almost 35% from tourism. Almost 35% from tourism. Our people are overworked, underpaid, not appreciated, and our people working in the tourism industries getting daily disrespected from Black Americans who have no right in their own country. Absolutely zero right. The Chinese enter and have more right before them. No right. No right. Now let me continue because I don't understand what is going on with our Prime Minister, and I really think that we need to have some diagnostic, research done on him. So I'll appreciate it if the Minister of Health call up Dr. Fauci, is that his name in the United States, have him over there and have neurological research done on him to figure out what's going on and how can we all come together and pray for him to get better, because we cannot have him as a loose goose taking over the country and saying all these type of ridiculous things. Our Prime Minister is a young and vibrant man with very good sperms in his body. There is no need for him to continue act as if he's a Seventh-day Adventist. He can easily switch to one of the another Christian religion or Muslim religion, take on 11 wives and give us some more children. His wife can also go on and continue to multiply. He have children, he have a brother. Now there is enough vagina in his environment to multiply. We don't need this type of stupidity. So our Prime Minister can fix this problem on his own to a certain degree if it's really needed. Another problem we have that no one seems to be looking into and looking at is that there are two types of Muslim I understand. I've had the opportunity of working with some of the good ones, but I believe the ones that are coming onto our island at this moment are not the good ones. And they're planning a takeover strategy that is not looking at. When I left Jamaica, I could hardly find a Muslim. Now, every year I go back, it's growing and it's growing and it's growing. When you have the dangerous ones living around you, when you don't convert to their religion, they then want to take you out. The dangerous one believes that when they take you out, they go to heaven, which simply means taking you out is not a problem. We will be no match to them. Our so-called gunmen that are walking around unalive people and go home and sleep, they're not brave enough to take out themselves. These Muslims are the dangerous ones I'm talking about, not the decent ones that are celebrating Ramadan right now and not eating all day. Salam alaikum, my fellow brothers and sisters. I'm talking about the dangerous ones. Take yourself to the side. I'm not dealing with you. Keep praying 5 times a day. Now, what is wrong with our Prime Minister and why he came up with this type of ridiculous thing? I don't understand. There is no infrastructure for us. You understand? You just want to keep this. This is what I realized. I realized it a few years ago. Every country have to have a certain amount of percentage of people that's illiterate, that they keep under the poverty line. That every 4 year and 5 year they come and they tell you, well, I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you that, and you vote for them. Because if everyone is educated, if everyone is successful, then they know who to vote for and who not to vote for. So they have
Sorry. This is the reason why they want to break up Cuba. Cuba not believe in a dunce people. Cuba not believe in a the baga social media population like where Jamaica grow. Jamaica grow a dance hall population. Then no, Jamaica grow a Nancy population. Turn them over to dance hall. And then now dance hall take them and turn them over to social media. Cuba now had them dunce there. Cuba now had them level of dunce there. Where a mix up are the main source of information. A baga are the main source of information. Cuba now have them high level dunce there. And that's why the whole of them want to mash up Cuba. Because when you have the people undereducated, you can take them in your own direction. The people is going with the Cuban regime because the Cuban regime is doing for them. Education. If we, the people of Jamaica, were literate as the Cuban population, this monster, this evil that we have in our country that would tell us that he can sell us a flying pig. And many of us will war to defend the idiot and say, I know that he has access to flying pig. I've seen him sell flying pigs before. These are the reasons why Andrew Holness can continue to lead with country with gimmickry and lead with country meaningless, This is why Andrew Holness gimmickry is so strong and become the norm. Because the level of dunceness in our society, Andrew can't tell with anything and we believe it. Andrew can play any tricks and people believe it. And Andrew Holness had done it for 10 years. And see now, we not just find out, and because of that, we not go on quiet. You all knew he was a trickster.
have to keep people down. So this is a way to increase the illiteracy number, keep the illiteracy number going, so you can continue to trick people. No one have time for that. It is better to have an island with 1 million people and everyone develop and focus and can have a proper leader than to have an island with 4 million people and 3 million don't know where they're going. They don't know their head, their shoulder, their knees, their toes. This is ridiculous. There is no need to fuss up and down. We just need to get the Minister of Health, to get Dr. Fauci, to get our Prime Minister to have a diagnostic workup, whether it's in England or in America or Canada, and figure out what's wrong with him, neurological problem he's having, and we roll back, fix the problem. For the rest, his children, his wife, and himself, he can fix it. I dare to believe we have a viable, very viable thing going on that can give us more children. We don't need to be fussing about it and having any discussion. The problem is here. The problem is here. And we just need to fix it and move on. Simple. Over and out.
What the lady is saying in short, we see madman out there and go take up madman. Come in, you know how Jamaicans and Americans get here, so you know. How the Jamaicans and the American get into this here corner here, where all sort of sensible people that are road, and the only thing Jamaicans and American could have go take up is the two idiots. Two mad idiots. Lord Jesus, me say, boy, they irritate part of me. The capital where me see Desmond Mackenzie, Auntie Angela, a reap out of
the fracturing of regional
year-old death. It look grimy. Because we know when a politician depend the political capital gathering. Don't go on like, oh no. Don't go on globalists, Jamaica. Don't go on like, oh no, when politician depend political, garnering political support from an incident. But Auntie Angela, is it really care? You care? Or is it just another politician using the death of a child, the disgraceful, horrific, violent death of a child, just for political mileage? Me don't know if I saw it look to Ono as it how it looked to me, but it no look, because the selective outrage of them saying they bother me, because I know every baby in our country get them attention there when them get killed, because we remember Granville. We're not going to forget Granville. Granville wishes fresh the New Year's Day Granville, which they're still looking sideways. Nobody no one recognize that that was a child too. Neither the government, neither the opposition, neither CPSFA. Now let's go to the Caribbean. The Opal, oh you do. Let's go to the Caricom Tata 2 with Miss Scratches and Mr. Bowler. Miss Scratches really tell Mr. Bowler the truth at Caricom. Let's listen to our article, then we bring the video clip.
The fracturing of regional solidarity, KPB, Andrew Holness, and the specter of election interference. The 50th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community in St. Kitts was expected to be a milestone of unity and cooperation. Instead, it has become the stage for one of the most blunt and public fractures in recent Caribbean history. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar of Trinidad and Tobago having recently returned to power in 2025, has set a fire under the family table, directly accusing Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness of meddling in the domestic elections of Caricom member states. The accusation is not merely a diplomatic spat. It is a fundamental challenge to the sovereignty and non-interference principles that have supposedly held the regional bloc together for 5 decades. The core of the conflict. At the heart of KPB's critique is a political invasion she claims has replaced traditional technocratic cooperation. While she did not initially name Holness in her opening remarks, her subsequent clarification and the surrounding political context made the target undeniable. The grievance stems from allegations that senior political operatives from Jamaica's Jamaica Labour Party were dispatched to provide strategic and ground support to specific incumbent parties in recent regional elections, most notably in the lead-up to Trinidad and Tobago's own 2025 polls. It cannot be that last week you sent your political persons, not technocrats, down to campaign, Persad-Bissessar declared. Her argument is a stark one. Caricom is being weaponized as a gentleman's club, where sitting leaders protect one another's incumbency by sharing campaign machinery, data, and strategists, thereby tilting the scales against local opposition parties. A critical perspective, necessary truth or destructive rhetoric. From a critical standpoint, KPB's calling out of Andrew Holness can be viewed through 2 distinct lenses. 1. The defense of democracy. If the allegations are true, Persad-Bissessar is performing a vital, if uncomfortable, service to the region. Caricom has long been criticized for being a talk shop that turns a blind eye to the internal rot of its members to preserve a veneer of unity. By highlighting factional divisions, KPB is demanding a reset. If a regional superpower like Jamaica uses its resources to influence the democratic outcomes of its neighbors, Caricom ceases to be a community of nations and becomes a hegemony of incumbents. 2. Strategic deflection and domestic posturing. Conversely, critics of the Prime Minister suggest that her firebrand approach is a calculated distraction. Having labeled Caricom dysfunctional and rotten in the months leading up to the summit, KPB may be seeking to externalize domestic challenges. By painting Andrew Holness as a meddler, she positions herself as a defender of national sovereignty against outside forces, a classic populist tactic. Furthermore, her support for U.S. interests, even when they clash with Caricom's collective stance, suggests that her critique of Holness is less about regionalism and more about shifting the bloc's geopolitical alignment toward Washington. The risk to the bloc. The fallout from this confrontation is severe. The silence from other Caribbean leaders at the summit speaks volumes. Many are wary of a public brawl between the region's 2 largest economies. Andrew Holness, known for his polished statesman persona, now faces the difficult task of defending his party's regional outreach without appearing to violate the spirit of the Treaty of Chaguaramas. If Caricom cannot resolve the tension between KPB's Trinidad First realism and Holness's expansionist political networking, the 50th anniversary milestone may be remembered not for integration, but for the moment the community began to unravel. Conclusion.
The St. Kitts summit has exposed a rot that diplomacy can no longer hide. Whether Persad-Bissessar is the physician diagnosing the illness or the catalyst for the community's implosion remains to be seen. What is certain, however, is that the era of polite, backroom Caricom consensus is over. The Holness KPB rift is now the defining barometer of whether the Caribbean can truly act as one, or if it will fracture into competing political camps.
These unions that doesn't serve our interests, the Caricom, the African Union, these unions do not serve our interests. These unions are talking shops for our leaders and the Americans and the Europeans, or whoever they want to talk about. What they are talking about at Caricom don't really concern us, because the 50 years of Caricom, where is the unity that we see the advancement in the Caribbean? See where they the free movement. How much people sign on to free movement where they just 4. Just 4 countries decide to adopt the free movement principle. So the truth is, these talking shops, they don't benefit us at all. They are not within our interests. Because while Marco Rubio, this is why we must know that these things don't work and they're not in our interest. While Marco Rubio is sowing a seed of John within the community,
Caricom governments are
something that the Americans are classic, or white people are classic at doing, divide and rule, divide and conquer. The same thing Marco Rubio is doing in the Caribbean now. I want to invite Marco Rubio to Caricom 58. It shows that it's an American organization. It shows that you can't even sidestep Marco Rubio for sure say the Caricom have unity. Caricom don't have no unity. Caricom is just a talking shop that don't benefit none of we, particularly Jamaica.
Caricom governments and their political parties who actively involve themselves in the domestic and political affairs of member states. The sister or brother parties cannot then expect that when we come together, that we must hug up each other. When in the last election, Born, you sent your missives, you sent your people from your party to openly campaign against another political party. I'm sorry I have to share this, but it hurt me a lot when I saw it transpire. When we come together, that we must hug up each other. When in the last election, Born, you sent your missives, you sent your people from your party to openly campaign against another political party. I'm sorry I have to share this, but it hurt me a lot when I saw it transpire within the last set of elections in the Caricom. So Caricom governments, if we are to hug up each other and cooperate, it cannot be that last week you sent your person down to St. Vincent or to Jamaica or to wherever, or to Guyana. You sent your political persons, not technocrats. You sent them down to campaign. I don't think that is right, because today I will have to face you. We are not red and we are not yellow, we're not blue, we're not green. We are all Caricom persons, and we must give that respect to every single one. And no leader here sitting would want another Caricom head of state to send people to campaign in your domain. That should never happen.
What a shame. The superpower of the Caribbean is being slapped in its face for election interference, election meddling. The same thing what the whole on always blame China and Russia for. The whole on always blame China and Russia for election interference and election meddling. So to the labor rights, them what they jump on when we call out Andrew for send not just in political harlot, but him girlfriend, him side trick, him state minister, him MP, figure campaign in another country. Andrew Holness, the same Andrew Holness, we turn up the attack about Cuba must open up to democracy, political idea, investment, and all of the bullshit. What have Jamaica benefit from all of them opening up the Andrew? What has Jamaica? Look how long Jamaica open up. We will benefit from the open up or we open up. How much have we lost in the opening up galangin? How much have we lost in the opening up? Jamaica, we need to get rid of Andrew Holness. We can't wait till 2030. We cannot wait till 2030. Doomsday under Andrew Holness will arrive. before 2030. We need to demonstrate Andrew out of government. We cannot sit down and accept this. We were lied to, we were tricked. Andrew Holness stole the election. Andrew Holness bought his way. So going to Caricom and talk about free and fair democratic election, which part? Andrew Holness. Andrew Holness, which part the democratic and free and fair election did keep? When you find out, make we know so we can go to go mark with X. Because we don't want to mark it in the one where fly green pay with her. We don't want to mark in the one we want to give with black jumper. We don't want to mark in the one we want to give with fertilizer for. We don't want mark in the one for the green t-shirt and the $5,000. No, we don't want. We don't want in the KFC one neither. We want where people vote free, fair, and democratically. And then we want you said, because you got Caricom go talk, so maybe you know which part people vote free, fair, and democratically, because we never see that a Kentire polling station, and which one of the polling station in a your constituency you make close down. We never see them free, fair, and democratic thing there. So when you find out, when you find out which we're on which corner, the free, fair, and democratic I keep, make we know, because maybe we can go there go choose a sensible leader. Maybe we can go there go choose a leader when not thief. Maybe we can go there go choose a leader when not corrupt. Maybe we can go there go choose a leader when not feel say, and him and in tough face wife to run 3 people million head. While them a thief and enrich themselves. While them a build multi-conglomerates in our country. Free and fair election. Free and fair election when you just get called out by your own Caricom partners at Caricom 58 for election interference. What an embarrassment. This is an embarrassment to our country. Our country who pride themselves on rule of law, this and that, and all of the rare and pram that they can talk about when they see mic and camera. Mic and camera, though, is something quite much different from reality. And just ask them over TikTok if you think a lie we tell. If you think a lie we tell, ask them over TikTok if mic and camera and reality are not 2 total different things. You know what the problem is? Some of us really don't know how to work out the difference of mic and camera and reality. That is where the problem lies. Not only the problem, though, Prime Minister, that is where your power lies. And that's how we end it tonight. Because your power, in a Prime Minister, lie in the docility, the arrogance, and the lack of knowledge of our people. You think it's any surprise education continue to deteriorate under you, John Crow? Do you think it is any surprise how rapid education has deteriorated under you? How we teach them just a run like a wildfire run through Jaimaras. It's no wonder, and it's no accident. It's all deliberate. How soon the people them will see your deliberate destruction to our country, education, agriculture, infrastructure, finance. When the people wake up, it might just be too late because you're full. They're gonna run off with the whole country, with the whole away in it already, Will we manage to stop you? to save the country? Or will we just stay silent and make the worst amongst us take our country over the cliff? It is our choice, Jamaica. Our choice. For better, for worse, it is our choice. Anyway, thank you all for being here tonight. We're going to get some sleep now. But please do join us back in the morning when we'll start the rough and tumble all over again. And when you hear them talk about democracy and rule of law, tell them, take it and stuck it up your arse now. Thank you and good night from Global TV.
Ghetto, run, keep going on, less process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So that's why I as a watching man around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Hey, oh, we gonna bust down Babylon walls. Prepare the way. Prepare the way for your people. Let's go. Fight down war and crime. Fight down war and crime. Rastafari. War and crime. And do the righteousness. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. Jah Rastafari. We love Jah. We love Jah. Jah Rastafari. We love Jah. Jah Rastafari. Preserve all people. Put time away. Put time away again. Listen. Yeah. So just as I and I as a watching man, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace while we penalize. Hey, oh, night. We gonna bust down Babylon gates. Prepare the way. Prepare the way for Jah Rastafari. Fight down war and crime. Rastafari, war and crime, and build up righteousness. And we love Jah, and we love Jah, and we love Jah, Rastafari, preserve all. And we love Jah, me love Jah, me love Jah, Rastafari, preserve all. Me love Jah. Yeah, the next song is going to be the last song for tonight.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.